Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? We're gonna have to figure out a new entry after. It's gonna
After
get
a
old
while.
after like 5, I believe.
It is. Or we just do variations on it.
Movies.
Ta-da!
Movie review. Who did I steal that from? PewDiePie?
Yeah.
Sorry,
'Cause he
PewDiePie.
does, yeah. He does meme review. He
Well, not
claps.
anymore.
Oh, he's done?
Pretty sure he stopped. I don't know.
He used to do that back when he was fighting T-Series, I know.
Yeah, but now he has a child.
Ah, good for him.
Yeah,
Children are a blessing.
they are.
Anyway, you have a good week?
I had a pretty good week. How was your week?
It was pretty good. I mean, it was sunny for a lot of it, and so it was nice to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. Gotten rainy here lately, but
Yeah, it was nice to have a bit of sun before all this rain came in.
it's supposed to rain all weekend too.
You know, other than my car having issues, then I had a good week.
That's
A
true,
good
you're-
week. But
Your car.
now that I have my car issues figured out, I'm pretty sure I'm sitting pretty
You're
comfortably.
set.
So
You have a nice car too, so I don't want that going to waste.
yeah, I think just the cold really kills your batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what happened.
But
So
you
we
can
watched
drive.
American Psycho.
Hooray!
Yeah, Jared's a little scarred. I don't think he understood what he was walking into. I
We-
tried to help it.
We had it. So we watched the video, and then we had about an hour and a half before we had to go somewhere, to like a trivia night thing. And I am so grateful for that hour and a half,
He needed it.
because it took me probably about an hour just to become like back to earth. It was just holy cow.
It's a lot. It's a lot more than you think it's gonna be. And some of it's you're like, it's cheesy, but just the reality of it is, it really just like soaks in.
Yeah, and it was just I don't know. My eyes hurt after watching it.
Christian Bale killed it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this movie is a cult classic in the movie community. So if you don't know what cult classics are, you might know what they are. But in the
Kinda.
in the movie
Industry.
movie circle, like people who like movies, or typically just random people. Cult classics are typically movies that don't do well immediately when they come out. They make some money, just not Star Wars
They're
level
not
of that.
blockbuster type of thing.
They're not. But then after like 5-10 years, just a community will discover it again, and then tons of people will just flock to the movie, and it
Those
becomes
latch
a
on,
cult classic. That's why they call it a cult classic. It's like a cult of the movie in a way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this movie is a cult classic, and I think I might be part of that group. I definitely didn't revive it. I think that's the memes, and I definitely wasn't part of the group that revived it, but I think I'd count myself as a cult classic fan.
It's a solid film too.
It's a good one. I enjoyed it.
I did too, and I agree. It was. I mean, we could talk about Christian Bale's acting later. You want to do that?
We can get to that later.
Okay, that's probably better. Should we rate it?
Yeah, let's rate it. I think.
Spoiler warning. Should we rate it? All right.
Yeah,
let's do this.
spoilers. We should really remind ourselves to say that at the beginning.
That's why I'm saying that now, so that we don't have to later.
Yeah, I think you should start with your overall
Overall rating.
rating of the movie.
Then
Then we'll break it down.
Overall rating. Probably give it like a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 chainsaws. So, yeah.
Interesting choice.
That's what I would give. What's your overall impression?
I'd probably go like 8 out of 10. 7.8 out of 10.
Okay.
7.8 out of 10 Paul Allen cards.
Paul Allen business cards. Those are apparently valuable.
Well, Paul Allen's a valuable man.
The raised lettering.
The tasteful thickness of it. It even has a watermark.
Why does it need a watermark? Anyway.
It shows that it's expensive.
Yeah. Apparently.
It's
Yeah.
a Paul Allen watermark.
Good for him. So then we break
Cinematography?
it down to 3 categories. So we do you want to do cinematography first?
Cinematography. Then we'll do probably
plot.
Plot and then character.
Characters. So cinematography. I mean, it wasn't like impressive.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
nothing.
It was. I would call it like a 5. Just a good average. You know, could have been shot by anyone.
I give it a 6 for some of the shots, because there's shots like there's the lady running down the stairs, and then he's just sitting there waiting with the chainsaw, and then just some of the
Nails
camera
it.
angles on that were pretty nice. I appreciated those.
Yeah. But I mean,
It was simple.
it was still lower.
It's
level.
not Dune 2 or Dune level
It's
of
not
cinematography.
Interstellar. Yeah.
But you can't really rate.
And I mean,
a movie like
this
this
movie
with them.
probably didn't have as high of a budget. And so,
I don't believe it did. I didn't double check, but
Yeah.
I'd guess that its budget wasn't super high.
Moving on, we'll do plot. I don't know. I wasn't blown away by the plot.
$7 million was their budget, and they made $34 million off of this movie.
Oh.
Oh well, they made $34 million, so they made 34 minus
Yeah,
7.
minus 7, 24. No, not 24. Sorry,
No.
bad at math. 27.
Yeah,
27.
it's pretty good.
That is good. Anyway, plot. I don't know. Half the time I couldn't even remember what the plot was. Just because I was scarred. We'll call it a 7.
I'd say an 8.5 out of 10 homeless men. Yeah.
I should have said 7 out of 10 kittens.
Yep, that's another one. ATMs are hungry for cats, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Didn't know that.
I don't know. The plot wasn't like...
I love it. I love that plot. It's
I mean...
It's a businessman living in the business world getting away with murder. Or did he?
It's all in his head. But, yeah, I mean... I would say it's slightly above average. It's better than most plots. That's why it's a cult classic.
You can have that opinion. It's okay.
I will have that opinion.
Yeah, you do. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Character?
Characters, I would say it's like a 8.8. We'll go 8.8 Willem Dafoe's.
Out of 10.
What did you say? Sorry.
8.8 Willem Dafoe's
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah, I think with major actors like Christian Bale, Willem Dafoe, who kills his performance in this.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Him dying in this movie is a plus.
Let's go.
According to Letterboxd, it is. I would say, yeah, I'd say like a 8.4 out of 10 Twin Towers, because they're in this movie.
Do we want to do 9/11 check now?
Yeah, I think since I brought it up.
Yep.
This is pre 9/11.
Yep. Pre 9/11, we saw the Twin Towers in a shot.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because of course, 9/11's a horrible event, and that's not funny. But
yeah.
it's funny when you're watching a movie that's pre-2001, and it's just a basic shot of him like walking across the street or something, and then you look in the background and you're like, oh, that's the Twin Towers.
And then you just move on.
Yeah.
By the way, so I guess I should mention this. So right after I watch the film, I wait like a little bit and then I rate it. So I rated it probably like 5 minutes after watching the film.
Yeah.
So on Letterboxd, I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Sounds about right.
And I think that was just my head.
I think I put 4 point or 3.5 too.
I think I saw you put 4.5.
Did I put 4.5?
I think so.
I respect that answer. Thank you, myself.
Plot
Synopsis,
yep,
then
you
some
want to do
trivia.
the plot? Yeah, we'll do plot synopsis. You go.
All right. So we open in a pink dining dining area, like a restaurant. It's very pink. We open on Bateman and his coworkers. I don't think he'd call them friends, so I'm not gonna call them friends. And they're dining and talking about stuff. And apparently, Bateman is highly against anti-Semitism, even though he murders people. So take that as you will. Then, oh wow, and I have to really remember this movie. What happens after the restaurant? Uh,
Well, doesn't it show just like his morning routine?
oh, it was that the next shot.
That was the next.
Okay, so the next
scene,
thing is
yeah.
just his morning routine, where he's like walking around his house. You see him like showering. Then he puts on this mask, like a facial mask that helps with skincare, and he goes over everything he uses. Then you get the awesome shot of him taking the mask off in one piece. I forget how many shots that took, but basically they had to make a special mask, I think, for him to be able to take it off in one solid go. And it's a really cool scene just because it's like the idea of him peeling his own skin off because he's not human, as he constantly reminds us. And then I believe the next shot is him going to work, and we get the awesome meme of him with headphones on walking down the hallway, which has become one of my favorite memes. Like, it's super heavy metal, and then it's me walking to work listening to this, and it's just super heavy metal music, and him walking very chill to his office. Then he goes into his office. I believe his assistant comes in, and they talk about plans. Man, I really got to remember this movie now.
Well, he was gonna have dinner later that day, right?
Something like
He
that.
was planning like having dinner with his wife and a couple other people.
Oh, yes, because then it cuts to him going to some restaurant and probably mentioning Dorcia's again, because every time they're in a restaurant, they mention Dorcia. And he sits down and then he explains how his girlfriend is cheating with one of his coworkers, but he's also cheating on one of his coworkers' fiancées. It's just a mosh pit of with Bateman and like what would you say? It's not his friends. It's just his coworkers.
Well, I would guess so. One of them, I guess they're all coworkers. I was wondering if they were friends or not, but
I feel like they just act like.
I mean,
coworkers.
Bateman has no friends, so.
Yeah, I guess. Then after, oh my gosh, from dinner, does it go to like him at work again?
I thought this is the big meeting where he meets with like all his coworkers and then he sees.
Oh,
Paul
and that's when he
Allen.
meets Paul Allen, played by Jared Leto.
And Paul Allen thinks he's another guy.
He thinks he's another guy, and Patrick's okay with that. So then he's like, oh, blah blah blah, Halberstam. Mark Halberstam, I think it is.
So.
I know it's Halberstam. So he's talking, and then he gives one of the guys his card about because he just bagged a huge firm or case or something with whatever they do, which is never explained because it's not important. But then they start comparing business cards, which gives us another glorious meme scene. Let's see Paul Allen's card. And then he shows him the card, and that was interesting. Then do we cut to the Christmas party with Jared Leto, I believe?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and it's a Christmas party, and Jared Leto, Paul Allen's there, and Paul Allen and Christian Bale's Bateman, who Paul thinks is Halberstam, are talking, and they make dinner plans to go eat somewhere. And Halberstam / Bateman says they should go to this random place. So then the next scene, they're at this place, they're eating, and then Paul Allen's like, I could have gotten us into Dorsia, which is obviously not making Bateman happy at all. And, oh wait, there's a scene at one point before this where he's walking down the street next to a woman, and then we just don't see that woman. Is that later?
That's later.
Is that later? Is that after he kills Paul Allen?
I'm pretty sure at this point he's been in the alley with the homeless guy.
Oh yeah, there's a scene where he was in an alleyway and killed a homeless man and his dog, which was very sad.
That was shocking. Anyway.
Yeah, that was very shocking. The first time I watched it, I was like, what? So then Allen and Bateman go to Bateman's apartment. So we get another glorious meme of a scene where Patrick Bateman asks the age-old question, do you like Huey Lewis in the news? And Paul Allen's drunk out of his mind. So he's tripping as Bateman goes, takes meds, grabs an axe, puts on a raincoat, and then he's talking to Paul more. Then he goes, hey, Paul, and then hits him in the head with an axe and murders Paul Allen. And then it quickly cuts to Bateman going to Paul Allen's apartment and getting clothes, putting it in a suitcase, saying something about being off to London. And before that, we see a scene of him dragging a bag through the lobby of his place he lives, and one of his coworkers just happens to walk by, and he goes, what is that? Where did you get that bag from? It's like, you think he sees that there's a dead body, but again, it's playing at the idea of he really killed people on that. So after he goes to Paul's apartment, he's back at work, and then Willem Dafoe as the detective shows up. And
I don't even remember the detective's name. I just remember Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, I think that's how.
Whenever I saw him, I was like, Willem Dafoe.
That's how we all see him. Whenever you see Willem Dafoe in something, he's either Willem Dafoe or the Green Goblin, and he was both in this movie. He questions Paul. Paul's a little nervous.
Bateman, not Paul.
Sorry, Bateman, even though he pretends to be Paul. Bateman's a little nervous because of Paul Allen's disappearance. And then he talks about, let's make plans for lunch sometime. And then, is that the next scene No, it's not. Is that the next scene? Is that the prostitute scene?
I think so.
Where, like, he pulls up and asks a prostitute to get in his car, and then he gets a third person in on it. And it's a weird scene, man. And they do the dirty. I don't know how else to put it, but
Move on from it. That's what you do.
well, there's the important scene of where they're done, but then Bateman gets up and says, "We're not done yet," and he has a hanger and other items, and then they're leaving, and you see scars all over them. So you're wondering what happened, and then, what happens after that?
I think he gets questioned by Dafoe again.
No, because I'm pretty sure the next time he gets questioned by Dafoe is...
It's not at lunch. He gets questioned twice. Because remember, he gets questioned, and Dafoe pulls out the...
Oh, yeah, he pulls out Huey Lewis in the news. Man, I really cannot remember the movie.
This movie is...
It comes in pieces.
Well, it's just like... All I remember is death.
Yeah, there's a lot of death. I can probably skip through some scenes. I'll just say scenes how I remember them, and we'll just leave it at that. Watch the movie. Bateman is at work, and I think there's certain scenes where he's having an affair with his coworker's fiance.
Yeah.
And then he tries killing that coworker, but the coworker's gay, so
he thinks it's kinky.
So Bateman gets all freaked out and feels gross. And then there's other scenes. There's one scene where he's walking behind a girl and then is standing next to her. And then it cuts and it's him in his office. And he has this strand of hair that he's playing with.
Ugh.
And then he eventually has his secretary come over. They have a scene. You can see one of the women's heads in the fridge. But he doesn't kill her because of a call from his girlfriend. And then he brings the prostitute over again with someone else.
I think it's like a friend.
Yeah, and they get
They do the dirty.
killed. Well, one he stabs, and then the other sees that and runs away. So then there's a scene of Bateman with just a chainsaw and nothing else. And the chainsaw just happens to be covering his private area. And then he drops the chainsaw and it somehow hits the girl. He's at like the top of the stairwell and she's at the bottom and he just happens to throw it perfectly timed.
It's just that good.
Then there's more scenes of him with his friends. There's one scene that I love where he's talking with these two ladies at a club, and one asks, "Hey, what do you do for work?" And he goes, or "What do you do for fun?" I think is something along those lines. He says, "Murders and executions." And she says, "Oh, I've always heard about mergers and acquisitions." And it was a really neat scene. Then eventually he goes on a killing spree, starts shooting people. There's a scene where he walks into the wrong building, and the guy asks him to sign in, and Bateman's like, "Hold on, that's not the person that's typically at the front desk." Pulls out his gun out of his jacket pocket, shoots the guy, leaves the building, but then there's a janitor coming out of one of the elevators, so he circles back around in the circle. What are those called?
Revolving doors.
He was in a revolving door, and he looks behind him, sees him, goes around in the revolving door, shoots the guy as he's walking in the revolving door, and then goes to his proper building. And the guy doesn't ask him to sign in, but he goes to reach into his pocket, and you think he's going to pull out the gun, and then he pulls out a pen and then writes his name down. Then he calls his lawyer. His lawyer doesn't respond. He left a message. That's what happened. Next day, he's at... Oh, yeah, there's another scene with Willem Dafoe. Sorry, I forgot about that scene.
That's fine. We can skip it.
We can skip it. And then the last scene is him at dinner or lunch with his coworkers, talking to his lawyer. And his lawyer's like, "Well, Paul Allen can't be dead. I had lunch with him last week in London." And then you're like, "Oh, shoot. Did he actually kill all those people or not?" And then he sits down at the table, and there's this long scene of him just staring with his monologue behind him. And it ends with, "This confession has meant nothing." And then it ends. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. A reminder that our plot synopses are not always complete, so go watch the movie.
They're never going to be complete, especially when a movie like this exists. That's a lot.
It was a fever dream.
That's what it feels like.
We went from happy fever dream to sad fever dream.
Yeah, we really got to figure out what we're going to watch next.
Yeah, we do. But that's later. For now, you have trivia to give me. Give me some knowledge.
So I got a little bit
man.
of IMDb trivia, and then I wrote my own notes, which are also trivia. So
Don't know where you got them, but you got them.
no, these are my own takes from the movie. That's fun trivia. That
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's just stuff I came up with on my own. During production, Christian Bale followed the morning routine that his character Patrick Bateman describes toward the beginning of the film. So during the
That makes sense.
entire...
Isn't Christian Bale like a method actor almost?
Basically. He also used an American accent offset as well as onset. So some of the crew people thought his actual accent was American.
yeah.
So when he started speaking British at the after party, they all were like, Are you using an accent for a new movie? And he went, "No, this is my actual accent. This is how I naturally speak." That's another one of the...
Method acting.
No, one of the trivia.
Oh.
Trivia's on there. The single biggest cost on the film was purchasing the rights to the various songs. All right.
Yum.
No reaction. The film had various problems with designer labels during production. How do you pronunciate this? Cerruti.
Cerr.
UTI. Carity?
Well, what's the word? What's the context?
It's just a designer label. It's his clothes.
It could be charity,
Well, I don't think
like
there's
it's
a
Italian.
I don't think there's a high class brand called Charity. Hold on, let me
No,
look this up.
yeah, you want to look that up.
Speak while I look this up.
What do I talk about?
I don't know.
Well, you're not giving me much to look at here. This is supposed to be your segment. I guess one trivia I'll put in. I saw a video where a guy was talking about how Willem Dafoe did with every scene he was in. He did 3 different takes. He did one take where he didn't know Patrick Bateman was the killer. One scene where he suspected Patrick Bateman was the killer, and then another scene where he knew Patrick Bateman was the killer. And then what the director did was splice those like separate scenes from each of those together so that the audience is always like, does the detective know? Does the detective not know?
Yeah, it's to leave the audience on edge.
Mm-hmm.
Karudi. Karudi agreed to allow Christian Bale to wear their clothes, but not when the character was killing anyone. Rolex agreed that anyone in the film could wear their watches except for Bateman. Hence, the famous line from the book, "Don't touch the Rolex," had to be changed to "Don't touch the watch." Paris Ellis provided underwear at the last minute after Calvin Klein pulled out of the project. Comme des Garçons refused to allow one of their overnight bags to be used to carry a corpse, so Jean-Paul Gaultier was used instead.
Good job, fashion labels.
They really care about their image a
They do.
lot.
Well, I mean, it's expensive for them, and they can't control it half the time, so.
That's true. So that was IMDb trivia. Here's my thoughts and a bit of trivia. So, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a Les Mis poster over Bateman's toilet in his routine scene. And, do you want...
I didn't notice that.
Well, there is a Les Mis poster above his toilet. And they also mention Les Mis again later in the movie. Bateman says, "I have a matinee to Les Mis."
Ooh.
Now, in the book, Les Mis is mentioned, and they actually go to Les Mis, and he talks about how much he hates musicals. But then he always pretends around other people that he loves musicals. So, that's just a fun bit of trivia. I don't know if you knew this, but this was a book before a movie.
No, yeah, you told me.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Talking about musicals, there is an American Psycho musical that was made.
After or before the movie?
After, but it's based off the book. Because Paul Allen, his name in the book is Paul Owen, and they use the name Paul Owen in the musical, not Paul Allen.
Okay.
But it failed massively, the musical, due to so many different things. But it's good. I've seen it, and I would suggest for musical lovers to watch it. There's good songs, weird scenes, good music. Paul Allen's name in the book is Paul Owen. I had that down. Patrick doesn't do a single bit of work the entire film, and you never know what work he does.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, he did crossword more than he did work.
Crossword, listen to music.
Drawing his, calendar.
His gruesome murders he wish he could perform on his calendar.
At first, I thought he was a stockbroker. Now I just don't know.
They say mergers and acquisitions, but that's not specific at all. That's like a branch of so many different businesses. But that's interesting because I think in the book there's a big point on that he doesn't do work because he murders people. And also when he's not working, he's always at lunch or dinner.
This man does not eat a meal at home.
But if you like watch the scenes where he's at lunch or dinner, he's not eating the food. He never eats the food
Keep talking.
because he has to keep his body fit. Um. Oh. Okay, so there's the whole idea of questioning if what happened is real or not. One of my favorite scenes is when he calls Dorcia up, and the guy just starts laughing maniacally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, it plays in that idea of, is he just making all of this up in his head? Because even if you're at like a high class restaurant, they're not gonna just
Who
start
laughs
laughing.
at you like that?
And it was maniacal too. It's like an evil maniacal laugh. So that was interesting. You probably didn't notice this, but every single character wears the same reading glasses. Same design, same color.
Never noticed that.
You know the scene where they're doing the cards and everything? Patrick Bateman mentions that he looks a lot like Halberstrand, and that's why Alan thinks Bateman is Halberstrand. And he mentioned the glasses. I was like, oh yeah, they have the same glasses. And then Alan walks over, and you're like, but those are the same glasses. And then it cuts to all the other coworkers, and they all have the same glasses.
Props crew got a little.
Well, I think it's the idea of they always confuse other people to be their coworkers. Like the lawyer at the end confuses Bateman for another guy, and then someone confused someone in London as Alan when it really wasn't him. So there's this constant issue of nobody knows
Who
who's
are
who
we?
because they all wear the same thing.
Identity.
Um,
It's a question about identity. Ooh.
oh, this is cool. When they show off the cards, speaking of the card scene, they added a katana or like a sword, like unsheathing sound to when he opens up his business card holder. To just like add that little bit of
The crispness.
yeah, because it's his supposed weapon in the scene. Bateman's evening routine consists of a blood mask and cigar versus his morning routine that's a facial mask and meds.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I guess he took meds before he killed Paul, but
Details.
it's the idea of that in the evening he's wearing blood, but in the morning he's cleaning that blood out of his pores with a facial mask.
Yeah.
Patrick has a serious thing for blondes.
He does.
Also, this is a fun fact. I don't know if you knew this, but in proper suit etiquette, you never have your suit jacket buttoned when sitting down. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
It creases your jacket and it looks terrible.
It does, yeah.
I had a lot of, not to call out my friends in high school, but I had friends in high school who would do that. I'm like, never do that.
Yeah.
Never sit down with your suit jacket buttoned. And, to that point, Patrick is the only person who sits down with his jacket buttoned constantly.
That's
when
annoying.
Every other coworker has his opened, and it's playing into the idea that Patrick wants to fit in, but he can't fit in because he's a psycho.
He's a psycho and different.
So, take that as you will. But those are my notes. My little bits of trivia about the movie. Now you can talk more.
It's such a deep film. Just like on the trivia side, there's so many interesting things. I love it. I love it. All right, let's move on to my questions. Because as someone who saw this for the first time, I have a lot of questions. Well, not as many questions as, like, Matrix. Matrix, I had a lot of questions. But not as much. Start off with the usual favorite character. I think there's only one answer. Bateman.
You think the best character in this movie is Bateman?
Who would you do?
You think the best character in this movie is Patrick Bateman? Willem Dafoe.
You like Willem Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe or Patrick Bateman's secretary?
I like Bateman's character more. Because I think I feel like every other character is like they feel very flat compared to Bateman's character. Bateman's character kind of develops over time, I feel like. We see different sides of him, but like all the other characters, we just see, oh, this is the detective, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
You disagree with me?
I do. I don't think. Not to say Bateman's not the best character in this movie, but it was a choice.
All right.
Yeah.
We agree to disagree. As per usual.
That's a good thing.
We agree a lot on things.
Yeah, I'd say Bateman's definitely.
He's at least top 3.
He's up there. I'd put Bateman at second, probably.
Okay. Then you would put Defoe at 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I love when Dafoe acts, so.
Defoe's good. He's a great actor.
He's a classic.
He is.
He needs to be respected more in the
Film
movie
industry.
community.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite scene. Because there's a lot of good scenes.
There's a lot of good scenes. It's gotta be, do you like Huey Lewis in the news? It's the start of Patrick's rampage, and it's a classic. And I love Huey Lewis in the news, so.
I enjoyed the Paul Allen card scene, because I think I love the detail they put into the shots, and like.
Let's see Paul Allen's card.
Yeah, and just the lines they hit. And just the close-up shots of Patrick Bateman as he's like sweating and staring at it. It's pretty good.
Bateman, are you okay?
Gay person. We did 9/11 check. Why does he always talk about musicians? Like, it's just annoying. Well, not annoying. But is there like a hidden meaning behind it? Like, because he's talking about musicians, he's gonna kill someone. Because think about it. With the secretary, he didn't talk about musicians or music, and he didn't kill her. But I think every other person he killed, he talked about music, or at least harmed.
I think in the books it explains why. I also just think it's Bateman's only real humanity, and I think he likes to share it with the people he kills because it makes him happy.
Neat.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot behind it. I really do think it's just Bateman is the type of guy to like. It's the meme of the girlfriend and the guy's got his hand
around the girl at the baseball game.
Yeah, focused up, just saying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's just Bateman with music. He's like, do you like Huey Lewis in the news? Or, do you like Phil Collins? Or, who's the other person?
There was like a...
Was it Whitney Houston?
Yeah.
I do like all those artists. They're good. They make good music. Very 80s of him.
He is. This movie was made in 2000?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be about the 90s.
Okay.
So it makes sense that he likes 80s music.
Mm-hmm. So the prostitutes that we were talking about earlier, the scene with the 2 prostitutes, and he did the dirty with them.
Uh-huh.
And then he was like, we're not done yet. Not going too much into detail. Do we not want to talk about like what he did to them?
I
is
don't
it
want to
just-
talk
okay.
about what he did to them.
I will give you your space.
He most likely did very vile things with hangers and
Knives.
the multiple different tools that were in. And I don't know how those women
allowed it.
and I don't know why that one went back after what happened last time. Like, I get it's money, but your life is worth a lot more than money.
I guess we should say we don't condone the
We don't
violent
condone
acts.
we don't condone any violence. We don't condone relationship violence, violence in general. Be kind to other people and love them. Don't hurt them.
I shouldn't laugh at that. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't laugh at that, dude.
I shouldn't. Yeah. Moving on.
We do not condone violence.
Yeah, we don't condone violence. I wanted to mention the line. I like the line, "I'm in touch with humanity," I can't remember when he said that. Oh, I think it was at lunch with Willem Dafoe. I think he said, "I'm in touch with humanity," and I just thought it was really ironic because
He's not.
he was not in touch with humanity at all.
And he constantly mentions that he doesn't feel human. He's trying to act like a human.
So it's just, I thought that was a killer line. There was a lot of good lines in here. The script writing was really good.
It's when he was at the dry cleaners, apparently.
Oh. Okay.
Oh no! It's when he's breaking up with his girlfriend.
That's right. He said he was in touch with humanity.
Yeah.
And that's why he was breaking up with her or whatever.
Then he said one of my other favorite lines, which is, "I'm leaving." Bateman, what? But why? I have to return some videotapes. That's a classic '90s excuse to leave anything. I wish I could use that, but videotapes don't exist anymore. Well, they exist.
Well,
but
they do, but they
them.
don't. Yeah, no one uses them anymore.
I have to return some videotapes. I'll use that sometime.
I would get concerned.
Walk away from the lunch table just saying, I have to return some videotapes. I'll do that. I'll do that Monday. People will be confused.
Was it because he needed to, like, rewind them? Or?
No, like, he had to return them to Blockbuster, so he didn't get the overcharge.
That's right. Blockbuster was a thing. R.I.P.
Be kind, rewind.
Never went to it.
I've been to the last Blockbuster on Earth, dude.
Where is it?
It's in Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing up there?
What was I doing? Jared, I live not that far away from Oregon. I travel to Oregon all the time.
Oh.
It's a fun place.
Well, I didn't know you traveled all the time to Oregon.
Well, I travel to the Oregon coast a lot. It's a good place. You should go to the Oregon coast. You'll see what I mean.
I should. When I come visit you one of these days, I will.
It's in Bend, Oregon. I've been there. I have a T-shirt that says I visited the last Blockbuster on Earth.
That's good that they're capitalizing on it.
It's family run. And Blockbuster tried to pull their name off the building one time, and everyone in the world got mad at them, so Blockbuster backed off. I believe that's the story. It was something about Blockbuster trying to pull out of the deal.
So these two can go hand in hand, I guess. So I'll do them. Hit two birds with one stone. So what are signs to show Bateman is a psycho? And then we can also talk about, like, lump in Christian Bale's acting. Just like
what are signs that show...
Other than obviously killing people.
I don't know, writing in his calendar brutal murders?
Why do you have the sunglasses on while doing the
crossword? He's probably high.
I could see that.
He does drugs a lot in the movie.
Well, I mean, just like, and just his routine is so regiment that I feel like it shows that he's not in touch with reality.
Maybe it was a little bright in his office when he was putting his sunglasses on.
That's true.
So, like, you gonna hate the man for putting some sunglasses on? Maybe he just wanted to look cool
A little
for the
bit.
day,
I mean,
Jared.
may I remind you, right before that was a murder scene.
Maybe he wanted to wear some sunglasses after the murder, okay?
Just wanted to chill.
Guy's having quite the time.
He's happy.
Some would say he's having the time of his own life. No one else would agree with him, but he would agree with that. Signs that he's a psycho? I don't know. The title of the movie is called American Psycho?
He has a closet full of murder weapons.
Yeah, in his kitchen, of all places.
Yeah, why does he have duct tape in his kitchen?
He has a chainsaw in his kitchen and an axe. I think he had a bone saw in there, too, if I remember.
It's just... and a nail gun.
Oh, maybe you gotta nail something in your kitchen.
That's true, but I mean, why don't you use
And it's a small
hammer and a
apartment,
nail?
so... Because nail guns are quicker and cooler and fun.
And he's rich.
Nail guns are cool.
They are.
Yeah. Oh, having a severed head in his fridge?
Making sorbet out of brains.
No. The sorbet was separate. That was separate. But he did try some of the brains. He does confirm that.
He does.
At the very end, he's like, I cooked them. And I tried a little bit. That scene, that part when he says that, makes me laugh because of how Christian Bale says it. He doesn't even say it like a normal human being who's like, you know, even for a psycho, he just says it weird.
And I cooked them.
And I cooked a little bit. It's just, how he says cooked is really funny. It's probably his British coming out a little bit, but
Probably. That's okay.
it's
We
fun
like the
stuff.
British.
Did
I
you just say you like the British?
Well, nowadays, yeah.
Are you American?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Saying stuff like that might get you arrested.
We'll argue about this later. Or do you want to argue about it now?
No, you don't have to argue about it now.
Okay. Good.
The British give us stuff, so whatever.
Love those in the UK. So,
I just think England needs to set Scotland and Northern
Wales.
Ireland free. Then I'll be fine with them. But no, they're still oppressing my ancestors. so I don't care.
alrighty. Christian Bale.
They're oppressing my
Christian
ancestors in Scotland, okay?
Bale and his acting.
He killed it every time. He always kills it.
It's just, I know his most recent movie was Thor: Love and Thunder, right? The movie that shall not be named.
Don't talk about Thor: Love and Thunder. They wasted his acting in that movie.
I know, but just like, I always see the memes, or not the memes, but like the factoids about how he transforms his body so fast. And it's just, his physique, I mean, as a guy who loves to work out, his physique's amazing. Gosh, I wish I could look like Patrick Bateman.
That's something you can say, I guess. I believe The Pale Blue Eyes came out, or Amsterdam. He did some other work. Oh, The Boy and the Heron he voiced. He voice acted in. Came out in 2023. So he's had a lot of other movies since.
But like the last major one was Thor: Love and Thunder, right?
You could say that for someone who doesn't watch movies. I'd say Amsterdam was a pretty big movie. Margot Robbie was in it. Taylor Swift got run over by a car in it. I have not watched The Pale Blue Eye, though. I should watch that.
Taylor Swift new album.
I'll
Oh
put it
no.
on my list. Don't talk about Taylor Swift's new album, please.
Got it.
I
I haven't listened to it, so I don't care.
I'm gonna make a lot of T Swift fans unhappy, but it's not her finest work.
That's what I've heard.
It felt like she just pumped out an album because she felt like she needed to.
Should we get off the Taylor Swift train?
Yeah, we're probably gonna get canceled by the Swifties. So
All right.
she typically is a good artist. I'll say that. This album just didn't hit for me at least. So
Was it all fake?
so not to burst. I'll actually let you speak first, and then I'll burst your bubble. What do you think?
I think it's all fake. And my reason why, like, obviously the apartment scene, the woman doesn't even know Paul Allen. Because Patrick Bateman was like, hey, do you know who owned this place before? And she was like, no one. Okay, what? Or he said who owned it like, where's Paul Allen and blah blah blah, but she said no one. Willem Dafoe doesn't show up at the end. I feel like he would. His lawyer's not even his lawyer's kind of freaked out, but he doesn't really like, I don't know. He doesn't take action. He just kind of just goes to a different group of people like, this guy's weird. But yeah, that's my take. What's the truth?
So I read what the director had to say about this afterward. It was like, is the director also leaving it up to a mystery? And I believe the director said that they did not mean to leave it open-ended like that, and it's real, everything that happened. And she just accidentally, or she or he, I forget if it's a she or he, they accidentally just left it open like that. So yeah.
Why did you leave it open-ended then?
I believe it's a she. Hold on.
If you're gonna create a film and you have an intended ending, but you make it seem like it's not, that's just not. Can I bring my plot rating down by about half a point? Because I feel like I should. It's like, come on.
American Psycho's ending explained by the filmmakers. It is a woman, I believe. The American Psycho director, Mary Herron, explained the ending as slightly fumbled. It's not meant to be the case that all of this happened in Patrick Bateman's head. Both she and co-writer Guinevere Turner have stated that the nature of the movie's ambiguous ending is far too nebulous, basically confirming that the American Psycho ending explained that Patrick Bateman is in fact a serial killer. What Herron finds the most frustrating is that many audience members believe the ending is the classic "it was all a dream" trope. Both filmmakers agree that the ending did happen in real life, and Bateman won't be prosecuted for his crimes based on his affluence and high society status.
Oh, so it's
one of those.
It's one of the hit on rich people.
Well, the book's kind of that way.
And I mean, I can see that this movie being kind of like an angry letter towards the top 1%.
Okay, so the book was ambiguous. This is a quote from Mary Herron herself. One thing I think is a failure on my part is people keep coming out of the film thinking that it's all a dream, and I never intended that. All I wanted was to be ambiguous in the way that the book was. I think it's a failure of mine in the final scene because I just got the emphasis wrong. So, it was meant to be ambiguous. It wasn't meant to be the "it's all a dream" trope.
Okay.
Take that as you will from Mary Herron herself.
And I mean, that's just her fault, and she admits it. That's good.
Yeah, but she's angry about it.
Yeah, directors can be angry about their own things. I get angry at my own art. So that's why I
Is
don't
your
draw.
art good?
Depends. I got bored in Greek class the other day, and I drew a sick Athenian. I was kind of proud of him.
Are you mad at yourself when you make bad art?
A little bit. Like, why can't I make it look good?
The author of the book is Bret Easton Ellis. And it was published in 1991.
Wow, 9 years only? Wow. It only took 9 years for the book to gain a film. It's pretty good.
That's decent. It's not bad.
Was it a pop? I doubt it.
I think the director of the movie read the book and she wanted to make it into a movie.
That would make sense.
But I heard that the book is a lot worse than the movie. Not like
Like
bad, but like as
in everything he does.
It's kind of more vile.
Mm.
Because a little bit more descriptive than the movie. Because, you know, books are always more descriptive than their movie counterparts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's that. Sorry to burst your bubble.
That's okay. I'm not mad.
Just disappointed. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yep. You have.
Classic parent line.
I say it a lot.
Not just, well, okay, you're not my parent, first off. I want to point that out. You're my best friend, but just need to...
I just say it a lot, though.
Yeah, I feel like I've said it a lot, too. I think it's a classic line that many people have learned from their parents. Maybe that's why our parents said it to us, because their parents said it to them.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, do you want to talk about how much of a meme this movie is? Why did... First of all, theorize, why do you think some of the scenes got memed on? Or memes?
Because it's easy to meme. Because meme format used to be very much artistic. Nowadays it's, haha, look at this scene, guys. What if I added funny music over it?
What if I make it an edit?
What if I added this into funny meme? And it's like, it's not always funny. It's just kind of getting annoying now. But like Patrick Bateman walking down that hallway listening to music, such an easy clip to take and then just meme out of.
I think that's the other thing. A lot of them are just easy clips to make fun of.
And then the whole Paul Allen card thing, again, you can just edit anything into their hands and then it's funny. It's clips that can easily just be manipulated the way you need.
Mm-hmm.
Or like...
And it's such simple shots that it's easy to follow.
Oh, yeah.
You want your, like... For the
easy
meme,
meme.
it's easy to see. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I have this meme saved on my phone, and a guy made a phone case that's I think it's either Bateman or Paul Allen's card, and you can just have a phone case of the card. No?
No.
Bye, Steven.
Bye, Steven.
So I thought about buying one of those, but I didn't.
I should just buy a business card just to show people who I am.
Yeah?
Just
yeah.
one business card. Not even a good one.
My dad has business cards.
I would assume so.
Yeah, he's a businessman.
He is
I can get you one of those.
Ooh.
Yeah. Make a trade. You give me something from your wallet. I give you my dad's business card.
We can't keep making trades like this.
I gotta make more trades. I need more items of other people's in my wallet. It will become...
You need memorabilia.
It will become the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet of our friend group. Everyone will just be in awe of all the different things I've gained from different people.
Oh.
I gotta start trading with women, too.
I don't know if you want to... Well, whatever. You do you.
What are they gonna give me? Like a gift card to flip in? I was gonna say Starbucks. I'd take that.
You could.
I
You
guess
could get
Caribou.
that. Maybe they do have that.
Give me if you're listening to this, give me your Caribou gift card. Send it to this address.
You don't know. You're not gonna give them the address?
I'm not gonna give them my address.
Smart.
I'll get a P.O. box. I can send it to my P.O. box.
So, any last thoughts on this movie before we brainstorm what we're gonna watch next?
Oh, good movie. You should watch it. Be prepared though.
Yeah, if you like blood, watch it. If you don't like blood, don't watch it.
Well, the blood's not very bloody in this movie. It's more like it's like water that just was red food color dyeing it.
As someone who's not comfortable with lots of amount of blood, there were times in this movie where I was just... I mean, did I get through the movie? Yeah, it's just like...
The worst scene had to have been when she's running through Paul Allen's apartment, and then
Yeah.
you just see the bodies
Absolutely.
everywhere.
And it was just like... that. I mean, that's the worst scene.
My favorite part
Absolutely.
was when he had his secretary over. This is my favorite part when you were, like, a reaction to you. And he opens the fridge, and there's a head in there, and I just look over at you, and your mouth is just open in awe of what you just saw.
What's funny is... So I had this in my questions. So right after that scene, you know, the woman disappears. So I wrote down a question like, "What do we think happened to the woman?" And then I saw that,
You saw
and
the
I was
head,
like,
and you're like,
"Oh,
delete.
yeah." Well, I think I just wrote down, "Oh, she got her head chopped off."
Yeah. That's also why he has hair strands.
Yeah. Creepy guy. Don't date a guy like that, women.
Yeah, please don't, ladies. If the guy is showing any signs of
If the guy is killing people, stay away.
if he has any psychopathy behind his eyes, do not date that man. He is a psycho and is going to murder other people. Not you, though. He'll let you live, apparently, but...
Come on, secretary.
No, like, he didn't ever kill his girlfriend in the movie. He just breaks up with her.
I think it was that was his fiance.
I think it was girlfriend.
No, it was fiance.
Was it fiance? Because I don't remember seeing a ring, but I guess it could have been.
It was at the beginning. I think he mentioned it because remember they're always talking about the wedding.
Well, they're always talking about getting married.
No, they're talking about the wedding.
No, it's getting married. Because she's like, let's do it, Bateman. Let's get married.
Because they're fiancés.
You don't have to be a fiance to talk about getting married, Jared.
Look it up. They were
I
fiancés.
don't want to look it up, Jared.
I know it.
I don't want to look it up.
I know it.
That's a
I
pointless
I try to
fact.
pay attention to the relationships of characters in the films. This film was kind of tough. But I think I have it down. Because it was the gay guy's fiance that Bateman was cheating on his wife with. Or not wife, fiance.
Yes, he is engaged.
Yes.
And then his mistress is Courtney Lawrence, who's the girlfriend of Lewis Carruthers.
Let's go.
A closeted homosexual whom Bateman despises. Is this Wikipedia? That sounds like such a Wikipedia answer. I just started reading more, because you know how Wikipedia always has like a little paragraph that pops up?
Yeah.
I just started reading more. I was like, oh, this is definitely Wikipedia. They have such an interesting way of putting stuff down.
That's because it's not scholars, it's people. It's just as long as you provide a good source. Anyway, yeah, gory movie. It's definitely a horror. Well, I don't know.
It's a thriller.
It's a thriller, not a horror film.
It's not a horror film. It's a thriller.
Yeah, lots of blood, lots of death.
Thriller and horror are two different
Mm-hmm.
movie genres, but in the same movie section.
You know what
of the
scene
pie.
scarred me the most?
What scene?
The kitten.
When he pulls the kitten, when the ATM says, "Feed me the cat," and then he
I
starts
thought
to
he
put a
was
gun
gonna
to the
shoot the
cat's
cat.
head. And the old lady walks over and goes, "What are you doing?" And then he goes, "Bah!"
And then started his killing spree.
That was kind of a funny scene just because of all the different times he kills people. It's just in such a wacky way.
During that part, I wasn't like, holy crap, this is terrible. Yeah, I was just like,
How's he getting away with this?
I know.
How's he doing this? He shoots at cops, man, and the cops all miss him. It's one guy with a gun. That was 5 cops. And
he
the
just
car
shot
blows
the
up?
car, yeah, and it blows up.
I don't know, dude. It was weird. Funny, though.
Yeah, a little bit. It was kind of funny. Edgy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's your type of edginess, isn't it? I like edgy movies. That's my impression of you. I like edgy movies.
I don't know if they can tell the difference.
I'm Jared.
I'm Jared.
No, I'm Jared.
No, I'm Jared.
No, I'm Jared.
Ah.
So what's our next movie, Jared?
I don't know. I kind of want to... I should look at my Letterboxd.
I don't know. Let me look at my letterbox. I'm Jared.
No, I am Jared.
I'm Jared.
No.
You can't prove that you're Jared. I can.
I'm Jared.
Because I talk like this all the time.
I'm Jared.
Guys, I think he's Jared. Yeah, I'm Jared.
Yeah.
The other guy's a liar.
Alright, I'm going to scroll down a bit. I want to get some of the movies near the bottom of my list.
It's got to be a good one.
The Revenant? No?
Not yet. I want to do that one when we're together.
Not yet. Not after American Psycho.
It's just going to be one of those movies that you're really just going to feel focused in on.
Let me see. Blade Runner 2044?
2049 or
2049, yeah.
Um,
I've actually wanted to watch that one.
have you not seen that one? Have you seen
No.
the first Blade Runner?
No.
You're watching the first Blade Runner.
You want to do the first Blade Runner?
You need to watch the first Blade Runner first. Because there's a lot of references in the world that's built. They assume that you've watched the first Blade Runner.
What's funny is it's set in LA in 2019. The first one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it looks nothing like the LA of actual 2019.
So
Classic. You have to pay for Blade Runner. 24.
Oh, we do? Okay, we can do...
Ana de Armas.
Inglourious Bastards?
Let me double check that. We can do that. I've not watched it in a bit.
From what I could tell, it's not a serious film.
Well, that also is currently not on any streaming services.
Oh my goodness. Sully?
Sully, dude? That's
No.
definitely not on any streaming services.
I could see it probably being on like Hulu.
It's not.
Keep
going.
Ted?
No, we're not watching Ted yet.
Okay.
Oh, it's on Peacock.
Goodwill Hunting?
Goodwill Hunting. It might be on something.
I would think so.
No, I don't see. I can't find it. Oh, we're gonna do Dead Poet Society soon, aren't we?
Do you want to do that next?
I think we should. Let's do a lighthearted movie, and then we can do Dead Poet Society.
Okay.
So give me a lighthearted movie, Jared. I'm gonna tell you now, Good Will Hunting.
Is not.
It's a bit more serious.
Could do The Martian's not really. Saturday Night Fever.
Have you never seen Saturday Night Fever?
I've never seen Saturday Night Fever.
It's on MGM, but I don't have MGM.
We could watch the first Avatar. Not the Airbender one.
The Blue People one, which is on Disney, I believe.
Because I think I've seen most of it, but not all of it.
Do you really want to watch Avatar, Jared?
I don't know.
We can if you want. It'll be a wild change.
With how we're doing it, I'm not surprised.
American Psycho, Blue People.
We went from Matrix to B-movie to American Psycho, and now we're debating Blue People.
Blue People. Okay, let's do a coin flip. So choose another one.
You want to do Scott Pilgrim?
Dude, they just put that on. They just put that on Max too.
Do you want to just do it?
We
We can just do Scott Pilgrim. I'm not eager to do Avatar right now.
Call it, Jared. Heads or tails?
Why should I call it? Why don't we just do
call
Scott?
it, Jared. Just call it.
Okay, head is Scott's Pilgrim.
Okay,
tails
it was
again.
head. Good job. It was heads.
Nice.
Okay,
Alright, so we're doing Scott Pilgrim versus the World next, it sounds like.
let's go. I can't wait. We are sex moms.
Alright, that'll be
We
good.
talk about death and stuff.
I don't think I've seen anything about Scott Pilgrim versus the World other than it's a good movie.
It's so good. You're gonna be so confused.
I know
but
it was
it's
number
so
4 on your
good.
top 5 when we...
Oh, it's gonna be 3 now because of this. Oh, I haven't watched it in so long. I will Jared, I will be referencing that movie a lot before and after we talk about it.
Okay.
Even before we watch it, I will be referencing it a lot. It's that good.
I think, we'll go from that to,
Dead Poets.
Dead Poet, and then...
That change is so abrupt. Like, I get B-movie to American Psycho was abrupt. But after you watch both of them, you're like, wow, that was quite the 360 change. 360 would be all the way. 180 change.
I think it's just funny. We might need to change it to where we go like a string of serious and a string of happy rather than switching back and forth.
It's kind of fun,
We might start having mood swings.
What is that? When do you have, like...
Oh, I can't
I
remember.
forget what
Bipolar?
that is. Yeah, we'd become bipolar. I don't think you can become bipolar.
I don't think so either.
I
I think it's just you're diagnosed with it.
I think it's something... Maybe you can, like, get it later in life, but I believe it's mainly something that you just have
Mm-hmm.
from childhood. So, yeah, we'll do, Let's go, Scott
We'll
Pilgrim.
do Scott Pilgrim, and then afterwards we'll do
Dead Poets.
Dead Poet.
And then...
And
Man,
then
I
I
think
think-
that'll be pretty close to summer for us.
I think we'll be able to...
Do one more.
But that'll be like while we're moving out.
Yeah.
So it might be we might do like just a quick one. Okay, don't look at me like that.
I don't know what you mean by a quick one, Jared.
Like,
'cause
I mean,
these are
just
not
like-
quick.
Well, I mean, we do a movie, and then it's not like a deep movie. Just like we could watch The Barnyards.
We can watch Blue People.
We could watch Blue People and
We
just
can
say,
watch Blue
"Wow,
People. Blue People.
Blue People."
You're still gonna have questions. You're gonna have so many questions about Blue People.
Why don't we
man.
do The Barnyards then? Just like a fun film, and we just
The Barnyards?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Isn't that a movie?
There's a movie called The Barnyards. Do you mean Back to the Barnyard?
Let me find it again.
If so, that'd be the first movie that I have not seen, because I did not know there's a movie called Barnyards.
Barnyard. It's with the here, that one.
Oh! I didn't know it was just called Barnyard. That's a weird movie. I don't know if I've watched that all the way through, I'm going to be honest. I think I shut it off as a child. I was like, Mom, I want to watch SpongeBob.
Or maybe we do that as like our week off. We'll see.
We might take a week off for that, and then we'll come back together
Do
for
the summer sesh.
for summer, which will probably be a little bit more sporadic.
Or we just do a short, like 15-minute episode. We'll see.
We'll see how we feel.
Brainstorm.
But next week is Scott Pilgrim, and there's
You're
no...
so happy.
I am, dude. I flippin' love this movie.
All right. That's the plan.
You're dating a high schooler. Yeah. Michael Cera kills that role, too.
We could go from that to The Social Network.
That's not Michael Cera.
That's not what?
That's not Michael Cera.
Who is that?
In The Social Network?
Yeah.
That's Jesse Eisenberg?
All right.
How are we going to end this one, Jared? We got to figure this out at some point.
Well, last episode.
So far, it's been us quoting something from the movie and then us ending
from
it.
the next movie though. Because you did You Like Jazz, I think, after The Matrix.
Yeah, and then I said,
No,
let's see Paul Allen's card
Let's see Paul-
after the B movie.
So I need you to do a Scott Pilgrim versus the World quote here.
I think there's no good quote.
There's
to
no
end
good
on,
one?
though. Oh gosh, you
know.
can't just sit me down and go, think of a quote.
Think of movie. Thinking B.
Also, I don't want to give away the movie by saying a quote because there's so many good quotes.
That's true.
It's a very.
We can just end it on a cold cut.
What's a cold cut?
It's where you just end the episode.
What do you mean by a cold cut, Jared?
You might a cold cut of meat, or
You know what I mean by cold cut.
I have no idea what you mean by cold
Cold cut. You just